Hello, I'm Sharon Armstrong, Vice President of the Alberta Teachers Association. Recently, the ATA invited candidates for leadership of the Alberta Liberal Party to our summer conference to meet teachers and discuss their vision and ideas for public education. The first question we asked candidates was related to transformation in education. It read, Alberta is world-renowned as a top-performing jurisdiction in regards to public education. What do you think of the system today, and what are your priorities for change that would help ensure continued excellence? Our next question related to education funding. A number of grants for school boards were reduced or eliminated in the 2011 budget. As a result, hundreds of teachers across the province were laid off in June. Would a Liberal government under your leadership reverse grant cuts to school boards? And what principles will be used in the future to ensure stable, predictable, and sustained funding for schools? Finally, we asked candidates to discuss the future of the teaching profession. Our question said, the Alberta Teachers Association has been the professional voice of teachers for over 94 years. The ATA is a unified organization with both union and professional functions representing all teachers in Alberta's public, separate, and francophone schools. Do you support the continuation of the association in its current form? And what would your government do to further support the teaching profession in Alberta? Here are the responses to our questions from leadership candidate Raj Sherman. Thank you for viewing.
My name is Raj Sherman. I'm an honor to be an Albertan. I was born in India on a farm, raised in a working class town where my father worked in the mill and my mother cleaned hotel rooms. In India, my father was a teacher and my mother was studying to be a teacher. Our parents instilled in us, me and my three brothers, the values of honesty, hard work, and the importance of a good education. I was educated in the public education system. I attended the University of Alberta in 1984. And in 1986, in my interview for medical school, I actually told them that my first choice was to be a teacher. But in 1986, I understand they only hired a couple of teachers, new graduates at that time. So medicine for me was a second choice. I've been an emergency room doctor for 19 years at the Rhode Alexandra Hospital. I've been a STARS physician serving Alberta. I eventually did get a chance to teach as a clinical lecturer, a volunteer position through the Faculty of Medicine. I've served as a senator at the University of Alberta. But my proudest achievements are my two young children. I have a son in grade 12 right now in Edmonton at Strathcona High School, and I have a daughter going into second year university. And I believe that education of our children is the most essential component for our society. They're our future. And really, in a global marketplace, in a global economy, we need to educate our children. We have the tools. We have the people. We have the ability to be the best in the world. And there are a lot of good things happening in this province. But I think we can do better. We need to do better. I ran for public service because I saw too many problems in society, in the front lines as an ER doc. Problems beyond healthcare. And I ran to improve the lives of Albertans. I was thrown out of government for telling the truth. Why? Because I was concerned about the lives of Albertans and the future of this province and our children. So I'm running to be the leader of the Alberta Liberal Party, and if successful, I'm running to be the Premier of Alberta. And I believe leadership starts with education and a priority for children. Thank you. Transforming our education system. Well, let's look at what's working and what's not working in our education system. I'm from Edmonton. My children have attended a public school, McKernan. There's lots of choice today that our children have within the public system. You can attend the Catholic school system or the public school system. Within the public system, We have French immersion schools, we have sports schools. We have amongst the best and brightest students on the planet. Why? Because we have some of the best teachers on the planet as well. Now, why do we need to transform the system? There are some things that don't work in the system. I'll tell you what doesn't work. The fact that 30% of our students, more or less, depending on where you live, are not completing their high school education. I'll tell you what doesn't work. The fact that we are firing teachers right now. We're the wealthiest place on the planet, and we're firing teachers. Our class sizes are approaching, first is 24, 25, 30, 48. I've heard 52 in one class. Our low-income young women between 15 and 19 are having babies 11 times the rate of high-income young women. We have babies having babies. As a doctor, I can tell you, teachers are actually doing the work of nurses and healthcare workers and social workers and counselors. You're surrogate parents to these young people. Your job and your time should be invested in teaching these young people. And that's what's not working. We need to get the support for the teachers, not only more teachers, but support. So you don't have to be a healthcare worker for your students. So you can do what you're highly trained to do, what you're qualified to do. I believe in Alberta. I believe in the future of this province. We do need to transform the school system. We need to get you good funding so you can have regular planning. We need to get you support. We need to get you more janitors, more teaching aides. We need to keep these labs open. Our children need to believe in themselves. Because if they don't, what future does Alberta have? And I believe Alberta has a bright future because of the character of its people. And that's where transformation must begin. Leadership and a commitment to educate our young people. Government's job is to provide funding, rules and guidelines for our teachers and everyone in society. For the education system to function, you cannot plan any program, some of them very complex, if you have to wait for a handout from year to year. In fact, in healthcare, as a doctor, I said, listen, you have to get stable, predictable funding. And this is why they brought in a 5-year model of stable, predictable funding. We need the same thing in education. Because right now, we just had a couple of booms and we're firing teachers because of this. The needs are so great for the schools and for the teachers because of the needs of many young people with special needs, many young people with mental health problems, medical problems, and the fact that we have a baby boom. We're making more love than ever. We have a lot of kids. Our class sizes are increasing at a rate never seen before. This is a time to be investing in teachers, hiring more teachers, and getting them more staff. And that cannot happen when government doesn't give adequate funding for that to happen, and sustainable funding for that to happen. I'm a firm believer that if you want to fix problems, you have to acknowledge we have a problem, and you have to empower and embrace and inspire those who are experts in the area. In order to fix the education system and truly inspire education, leave it to the experts. As a doctor, I'll tell you, I'm an expert in healthcare, but I'm not the expert in education. I don't have all the answers. My job as a legislator and a member of the government would be to give you the funding, stable, predictable funding, so you can plan your complex programs and say, look, you're the experts, you run the education system. You know what's best for our children, how to teach them, what not to teach them. There's certain accountability and performance measures, and those also should be developed in conjunction with you, the teachers of this province. That's my position. You should decide what's best for you as teachers, not some politician. Thank you. I'm happy to be an Albertan. I believe in Alberta and the people who work each and every day to make this the wonderful province that it is. I'm running to be the leader of the Alberta Liberal Party. My policy platform is really simple. It's actually based on principles and values. Number one, Albertans need and deserve an open, honest, responsible government. Government that's responsible with your tax dollars. Number two, a government that will foster an economy, a knowledge-based economy that will balance out the ups and downs when we have booms and busts. And that's an economy based on knowledge. Number three, a healthcare system that is second to none in the world, and it's easy to fix. All we have to do is invest in primary care, home care, long-term care, and performance and accountability measures for those who govern and administrate healthcare. But you actually can't fix healthcare. The real solution lies in the social determinants of health. It's actually the literacy rate of your community. We need to make a concerted effort to make sure every child graduates from high school. My only disappointment here is the fact that 30% of the kids, the young people in this province, don't believe in themselves because the system does not engage them and they quit. We have one of the lowest university participation rates in the nation. You can't get to university if you don't get out of high school. And if we don't work on early childhood, early Head Start programs, get these wraparound services into the schools, the support that is essential to a child's development, the support that teachers need, the fact that you need more teachers. How are we going to base our economy based on knowledge? How are people going to be healthy? How are we going to balance our budgets? Educated Albertans make wiser choices, are healthier Albertans and smarter Albertans. And really, the cornerstone, if you want to fix healthcare, I've always said, stop investing in hospitals, invest in education of our children, invest in our teachers, invest in our future. I think anything is possible. I was born in a third world country. I didn't speak this language when it came to Canada. Within a few short years, because I had a few wonderful teachers who helped me learn English. They helped me believe in myself when there were times I doubted myself as a teenager. They gave me the courage and the strength not to quit. They were my second family. I stand before you, a model of the Canadian dream. Why? Because I'm a product of a public education system. And my children also attended a public education system. And I believe we need to do more of the same. Thank you.